Today we're talking about what to do when your 401k or your 403b plan gets so big it needs an annual audit. Christopher, how do you know when a plan is audit sized?
Okay, it has absolutely nothing to do with where the assets are or how many, what the asset size is or how much money's in the plan. Okay, it has, right now, it only has to do with how many people have account balances, all right? What that means is that we used to have to count eligibles. So you could have a plan with hundreds of people who are eligible but didn't have an account balance. Now, and this is because of long-term part-time employees having to be in a plan, right now we are counting people with ending balances, all right? So you have to have an account balance in order to be a participant for audit size.
So break down what the numbers are real quickly.
If you have more than 100 participants with account balances at the end of your first plan year, so this is at the end of your first plan year, you have more than 100, you are subject to an audit, a large plan audit, okay? If it's not your first plan year, you need to go over 100 participants with an account balance. But because it's IRS and 5500 rules, it's more like 100 with an asterisk, okay? Because you actually need to go over 120, okay? You need to have more than 120 participants to need a large plan audit, all right?
So, Christopher, what is an audit firm generally doing and what forms do you need to supply?
Okay, the audit firm, that is going to be the CPA. We get very, very conservative and very, very narrow-minded about this because we're old school. We kind of like to see not the corporate accountant be the large plan auditor, but I know there's a lot of CPA firms that say they have practices set up where they are big enough that they have enough separation in how the firm is structured so that a firm can be the large plan auditor and also the plan sponsor's CPA. All right. Now, however, so what they are doing is they need a copy of the signed plan's adoption agreement and any and all relevant mandatory and discretionary amendments. They like the summary plan description, more so to see what the participants are being told. The IRS opinion letter. Now, if it's a pre-approved adoption agreement, that's going to be the one for that pre-approved plan document. If it's an individually designed plan document, they're going to want to see that opinion letter. They're looking for the investment policy statement. This is something that is separate from the plan document. This is separate from what the record keeper gives you. It's usually crafted between the plan administrator, that's capital P, capital A, and the fiduciaries and the trustees and the investment professionals. They should be a prior year Form 5500, unless of course it's a new plan, all right? The fidelity bond, you need to show how much your fidelity insurance is. Retirement committee meeting minutes. Yes, when you've got a plan this big, you are having real committee meeting minutes. The employee census report. Now, they're probably going to be wanting more than just an annualized employee census report. They may end up looking for things by pay period, definitely looking at what my understanding is they're going to very often be wanting to see the separate pay periods that are receivables for the following plan year, maybe looking for some mid-year ones when participants are coming in the middle of the year. Just be aware they may be asking for more census information than just one annualized report. And I guess then those would be the payroll reports.
I do really actually want to ask the question, what is the purpose? What is the audit firm doing? What is their purpose? What are they supposed to be doing? Why do we need this?
So basically the idea is to make sure that the funds are in the plan, that the plan says is in the plan, and that the contributions are going to the right place, and that distributions are going to the right place, and the right distributions are being done, and that loans are being paid, and that the plan is the operation of the plan is generally following the plan document.
And how I would boil that down is now that you have 100 people relying on the retirement plan, that they actually want to make sure it's being done correctly. Because doing things correctly is better than fixing them later, right?
The next question is, how do you select a good audit firm? The Department of Labor, twice in the past 14 or 15 years, have looked at, I believe it was 400 audit size plans in the first survey, and then in the most recent one, I think they did a few less. It was like 380, I believe was the number, plans that they looked at. And what they found was that the fewer the plans done by the firm. So in other words, if the auditing firm only does 1 or 2 large plan audits a year, about 70 some odd % of those plans, the audits were so bad, the plan sponsor had to go back and get the audits redone, okay? Now, the one thing that both of these surveys found was that there was 0 correlation between fees charged and quality. Okay.
Paying a lot doesn't necessarily.
Paying a lot did not mean, yeah, the firms that were doing the most were not necessarily charging the most, and the firms that were doing the least were definitely not charging the least. So shop around, okay? Next one.
So, Christopher, what do you need to do as you're getting close to this threshold where you're going to start needing audits?
The one thing you want to do, all right, now this first bullet point actually has like 2 sub-bullet points. One, as always, make sure you've done your force-outs. That's one of the nice things about the limit being raised from $5,000 to $7,000, all right? The IRS has actually given us a couple of things here. We have a larger account balance that we can force people out on, and now also we're only looking at people with an account balance to determine whether or not you need an audit. So if you want to make sure you get your force-outs done, so the point is, don't wait to December 10th to do your force-outs, because you're going to have at least a 30-day letter. So that means you're going to have those account balances in there on January 1st of the next plan year. So that person counts, all right? Make sure you do your make sure you do your force-outs early enough in the year so that you can finish processing them by 12/31, in other words, before the start of the next plan year. The other thing is, if it looks like you're going to have an audit, start looking the year before you need it. The wrong time to start looking for an auditor is September, 45 days before the audit's due.
Because their dance cards are full.
The dance cards are full.
The good ones, the dance cards are full, and it takes them a while to do. It takes them a while to do things, too.
Yeah, you want to get it scheduled. Also, another thing you need to do as you get close to this audit size threshold, if you are used to being a firm that always files your 5500 timely and maybe the corporate tax return timely, you're going to have to probably start getting used to the word extension, okay? Things are probably going to need to be extended.
It's just too hard to get it all done by the first tax date. So, Christopher, do you now need to stay on top of dates even more because it takes an auditor time to do the work?
Well, that's a really good point. Yeah, the deadline to complete the audit and file the Form 5500 with the attached audit report is July 31st of the following calendar year. Now then, if you extend your 5500, it's due October 15th. What's the very important note to go along with this due date, dear?
That it's complete, not started?
Right. That these are the due dates to have it completed, not the dates to get it started, okay? Sometimes it seems like I'm talking to people that get that little, that's confused, all right? Also, make sure that your employee census is submitted to your TPA by January 31st. That helps. And that your TPA lets you know about the audit, so that we can let you know about the audit status by March 15th, all right? Because if we as TPAs aren't getting the census until October 4th, it's happened, okay? How are we going to get everything done in time, okay? When you know that you're going to be an audit size plan, or you are an audit size plan, you need to be getting the necessary reports off sooner so that the other service providers can get their job done.
So if you want to learn more specifics about large plan audits, check out the link in the description.
Thank you.
Thanks
right.
for watching,
Hey,
Christopher.
okay, so let's not forget to like, subscribe. We are having people communicate with us at sales@hunterbenefits.com. That was really cool. Find us on LinkedIn, all those other places. Let your friends and neighbors know about it. Share the love, okay? Don't forget to keep those cards and letters coming.
Thanks for watching. Toodaloo.